You ever look at a huge organization, like a big government department, and just think, how on earth does anything actually get done in there? Well, behind every single decision, big or small, there's this secret world of procedure, a whole hidden life that kicks off with just one file.
So let's get into it. How does a simple request, like, say, asking for a week off, make its way through the massive machinery of a huge institution? Where does it even go? Who looks at it? And how does it come back as an official, you can book your trip decision? You might be surprised, but the answer often starts right here with a single piece of paper, a letter, an application. This one little thing is the seed that grows into a massive, superstructured, and, believe it or not, a pretty fascinating process. To really understand this journey, we're going to follow one specific request from start to finish. Let's meet Shri A.K. Sharma. He's an employee who just put in an application for 7 days of leave. His simple request is about to plug into a really organized system. So the moment Shri Sharma's application hits the mailroom, it's not just a piece of paper anymore. It officially becomes doc. That's the term for any formal communication that's been received and logged. This is step 1. Right now, the system is officially aware of his request. Okay, so the file itself is kind of cool. It's basically split right down the middle into 2 halves. On the right side, you've got what's called the correspondence portion. Think of this as the what. It's all the official stuff, like Sri Sharma's actual application. But the real magic happens on the left. That's the note portion. And this is the why. It's literally the organization's brain thinking out loud on paper. All the analysis, the debates, the recommendations, it all goes right there. And here's the whole journey our file is about to take. A 6-step life cycle from the moment it arrives to when it's put away in an archive. We just finished step 1, docu-receipt. Now, the file is heading into the real heart of the system, noting and drafting. Before it moves an inch, though, it gets a priority level. If it gets a red slip, that means it's super urgent, needs to be handled today. A yellow slip makes it a priority for the next couple of days. Shri Sharma's leave request, that's probably a routine case, so it'll get a standard white slip. It's a simple color coding system, but it's brilliant for making sure the most critical stuff always floats to the top of the pile. All right, now we're diving into the core of it all. This is the intellectual engine room, where the request is really analyzed and a decision starts to take shape. This is where the real work gets done. And that work is called noting. Now, this isn't just someone scribbling a casual comment. It's a formal, written analysis that gets recorded on that left side of the file we talked about. The whole point is to lay out the entire case so clearly that a senior officer can just glance at it and make a solid decision, fast. And a good note follows a really strict logical formula. First up, just the facts. No opinions, just what's what. Then you cite the specific rules that apply. Third, a quick analysis. And finally, and this is key, a crystal clear recommendation. There is absolutely no room for waffling. And this table just shows that connection perfectly. The noting on the left, the internal thinking, states the facts, checks the official leave rules, and recommends approval. That internal thought process is then translated directly into the formal language of the draft on the right. The why literally creates the what. It's pretty neat. Okay, the heavy lifting is done. The analysis is complete. The draft is written up. Now, the system kicks in to make this recommendation an official, binding reality. So once the draft gets the green light from the competent authority, that's just the fancy term for the officer who has the power to make the final call, it's prepared for issue. In this case, it becomes what's called an office memorandum, which is the standard way to handle this kind of internal communication. And here we are, the final step. The memorandum gets a unique file number, an official signature, and it's formally sent out to Shri Sharma. And with that, the loop is closed. His request has made it all the way through the system, and the decision is now a done deal. This quote from the actual Manual of Office Procedure really nails the whole philosophy of the system. It's not just about getting to a yes or a no. It's about creating this transparent, auditable trail that shows exactly what was decided and, even more importantly, why it was decided that way. But of course, we're in the 21st century, right? So this process isn't just happening on paper anymore. The exact same meticulous logic has been moved into the digital world with something called e-office. So e-office is pretty much what it sounds like, a digital version of the paper file.
You still have e-noting and e-drafting, but now you've got cool features like hyperlinks to the rules, digital signatures for approvals, and instant transparent tracking. So no more wondering whose desk a file is buried on.
And get this, the impact of going digital has been massive. The numbers really tell the story. Look at this first bar. We're talking about a 70% drop in paper use. That's huge. And the next one over, a 50% boost in how fast things get done. So with results like that, is it any surprise that the third bar shows it's now mandatory in over 90% of central government offices? It's the same exact logic as the paper file, just way faster and a whole lot greener.
So, in the end, what might look like a bunch of bureaucratic red tape from the outside is actually a highly structured system. And it's all designed to make sure that every single request, from Sri Sharma's vacation time to a huge policy shift, is treated fairly, based on the rules, and with full accountability. And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. As we move everything online, does this very meticulous, rule-based way of doing things stay as the bedrock of fairness? Or does it risk just becoming, a digital version of red tape? Definitely something to think about as these systems keep changing.